news coming out of Kentucky Kingdom down in Louisville, Kentucky. They announced that over the next 2 years, 2025 and 2026, they're going to be adding $25 million worth of investment into new attractions and stuff like that. $25 million is a nice chunk of money for a smaller kind of just like local park that tends to be. So we have to think, obviously it's going to be 2 years. They're not going to get like a ton of stuff one of the years, but we think that maybe a little bit 1 year, and then the next year, probably 2026, will be the major investment. And that will be probably finally, after closing down at the end of 2022, finally a replacement for T3.
Yeah.
And like we said, that thing was closed down at the end of 2022. So they've been sans one coaster for a few years now. So it is about time that they build something. We were trying to think what would be perfect to go into that plot of land, what would be perfect for what we would want, what would be perfect for the park. And we've come up with a few different choices. And I want you guys to watch this video and then comment down below and let us know what you think would be like your perfect choices, or if you agree with us or not. While you're down there, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you have not already, if you enjoy amusement park and roller coaster content just like this. So first of all, I think there's one major coaster type that I would really, really want this park to get. I don't know if it's doable because of price. I think it might be a little bit too much money, but I think that if they do use a large chunk of that investment for this one thing, then I think they can pull it off. Not saying they're going to, but we will get into that coaster later. Now get into a couple of the ideas that we have that we think would be perfect for that area.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think, what have parks around this area been getting? And one big thing is Vekoma. Vekoma's been building a ton of coasters all around. I mean, obviously, they've built some really good coasters in Europe and Asia for a few years, and now they're starting to build stuff in North America. Yeah. And so you have to think, what if it's a Vekoma launch coaster? Like, I was thinking something like Phoenix, which isn't a launch coaster, but it is one of those modern Vekoma coasters that is pretty short, doesn't take up a lot of space, is like borderline family coaster, thrill coaster. So something like that I thought was maybe a possibility, but it would be what, like 15 million US dollars?
15, 16 million US dollars, which wouldn't be insane for something like that, because if they're talking about spending $25 million, then that's definitely in the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, a Vekoma launch coaster, because all the new coasters that have been being built have all been launch coasters. So you have to kind of think that Kentucky Kingdom will probably go along with the trend and build another launch coaster, because that's all we're getting recently.
And Kentucky Kingdom has no launch coasters. And their last coaster at all was Kentucky Flyer, which was a Gravity Group family Woody coaster. And I mean, it's good. It's good for a little family coaster.
Yeah, it's a great ride. But as far as thrill coasters, they haven't gotten a thrill coaster since, what was the last? Lightning Run or Storm Chaser?
Storm Chaser was 2016, I think. Yeah. Something like that. So, but Storm Chaser, an amazing RMC. And speaking of RMC, I have to say that it's kind of generic, but an RMC Raptor, I think, would be absolutely perfect for that park. There's none of those in the region at all. Their two closest competitive parks are Kings Island and Holiday World, and neither of those parks are getting RMC Raptors. So they can put an RMC Raptor and say that they're the only single rail roller coaster in like that South Midwestern whatever area that Louisville is in. So definitely be marketable and unique and draw some people in. And they're also pretty inexpensive. I think they're like $8, $9, $10 million or something like that. So I think that would be absolutely perfect money-wise for Kentucky Kingdom. So RMC Raptor, definitely a consideration. And Herschend seems to really like RMC. I mean, they built Lightning Rod and
Fire
in the Hole and stuff like that. So they are definitely fans of RMC and work with RMC a lot. So definitely could see something like that going in there. And I'm going to bring up one more dark horse again by RMC. Now this, I think, is pretty unlikely because we brought up Kentucky Flyer before, which is a family coaster. This is another RMC family coaster. It is their Wild Moose. None of these have been built yet. Anyway.
Yeah, none have been built, but T3 was, I mean, personally, I don't think this is going to happen. T3 was a thrill coaster. It's a bigger spot of area of land, and they'll probably want to replace it with something good and probably a thrill coaster and something bigger. These Wild Mooses are very compact, and also it is basically RMC's family coaster. I mean, obviously, they can build some other ones, but this is right now their family type coaster.
It's a takeoff of a Wild Moose.
Right, yeah. So they already have a family coaster from Gravity Group, which is similar. So I think this isn't going to happen.
I was just trying to think of some unique ideas that might go with something that Kentucky Kingdom could say this is like the first of its kind or something like that. Because a smaller park like that could definitely use like a first of its kind roller coaster to draw in people or something. So that we definitely think is highly, highly unlikely, but something that we thought might be worth throwing in there. And now last, but certainly not least, this is what I think would be absolutely perfect. The one thing that I think would stop this from happening is the cost, because these can be quite pricey, and possibly because it's from S&S and they are not the most reliable roller coaster brand. Maybe Kentucky Kingdom would be a little bit afraid of getting into a coaster from S&S and having high maintenance costs or something like that. But either way, what I think would be absolutely perfect down there is an S&S Axis coaster.
Yeah, and I think we brought this up in a video like a while ago.
Quite a while ago, yes.
Yeah, it's been a long time. This is kind of the first coaster that we kind of thought of when we were thinking, okay, what could Kentucky Kingdom get? We both just kind of thought Axis coaster.
I'm not even really sure what made us gravitate towards that. I think it's just the uniqueness and the fact that Axis coasters look like they won't have killer capacity. Kentucky Kingdom doesn't get that busy, so maybe an extremely high capacity ride wouldn't be essential for a park like Kentucky Kingdom.
Yeah, and they can market it, like you said before, they probably want to get something that is first of its kind, and they can market it as almost first of its kind. There's one going to Saudi Arabia, but it would be the first in North America, they can say.
And it would be a very unique experience. I mean, it would definitely get us back down to Kentucky Kingdom. We haven't been there in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And if they built something like that, it would be a no-brainer that we would head back down to the park to go check that out.
And it would be a very nice addition, because Kentucky Kingdom is a very good park. I mean, Lightning Run and Storm Chaser are both great rides, and that would be another very, very solid coaster to add to the lineup, and something that nobody's experienced yet.
Anyway, let us know down in the comments section, what do you think is the best replacement for T3 at Kentucky Kingdom? $25 investment? I mean, it sounds like roller coaster to me. What do you think?
$25 million investment.
Is that what I said?
I said $25.
Oh, $25 million.
I think they're going to spend a lot more than $25, I think.
Well, I don't know. They might.
This isn't Michigan's Adventure.
But $25 million investment over the next 2 years. So we'll have to see what that means and what that translates as far as rides or whatever. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Huge shout out to all our channel members. All these people joined one of 2 tiers. And in return for their generosity, they get things like exclusive videos, shout outs, pictures, stuff like that. And we are doing an exclusive shout out to one channel member most of these videos now. We will go with Taliesin and family. I hope I'm saying it correctly. I'm pretty sure. Correct us at the park or whatever next time we see you. We've run into him and his family quite a few times. Cedar Point down in Florida, we ran into them.
Orlando, yeah.
Yeah, so always nice to see them. Always very friendly. They always say hi, have a nice little conversation with them. So thank you for being longtime channel members. Always appreciate you guys. That is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Beach Cliff Studios.